So in some occasions I got asked, should I use Expo or should I use the React Native CLI? And I will think in most of those cases, the people that are asking those questions are either developers that are learning React Native or developers that are trying to build their own personal projects or apps. And I would think in those cases, the apps will have like a bunch of users, or it's not like going to be like a lot of developers working at the same time. And for those cases, I would say that you would mainly try to stick with Expo at all costs. And the reason for that is that simply Expo provides a lot of things that will simplify the way you develop and create React Native applications. There are a lot of things that come into app development that you don't want to deal. For example, you don't want to write a specific code for each platform, which I think is the main goal of Expo, that you just want to write your JavaScript and be done with that. And also when you deal with React Native CLI, you will have to link dependencies and try to keep everything working, which for me, it feels kind of clunky that you have to, even in some cases, come with workarounds to make things work. And with Expo, I feel that things just go smoothly. That's the main purpose, to give you a better developer experience. So, well, why would you want to avoid this? Well, the Expo has his limitations. So let me just quickly go to their website and we can see in which cases it might not work for you. So here we can see a list of things that Expo can't do. For example, you can't use certain native APIs. And I think the main one that people will look away from Expo is Bluetooth. So if your app needs Bluetooth, you can simply just forget about Expo. But yeah, that will be one thing. Another thing, for example, that background tasks will not work for everything. For example, it will not work for audio, but it still will work for a lot of things that can be crucial. For example, geolocation or background fetch, which is great. Another thing is that if you really need to control the size of your bundle, that wouldn't be the case because Expo comes with your bundle and you can't control that. But still, I think is really small right now. So you can see that we can have bundles from 15 megabytes to 20 megabytes, which I think is not that large. I would say again, if you're having like a application that's used by a lot of users, in those cases, yeah, of course you don't want to rely on these numbers because it wouldn't be beneficial to you. But if you're just working in your small project, that will be enough. Another main thing that is that you can't use like third-party notification services. If you need to use in the managed version of Expo, you need to use their service, which again, it can be beneficial to you because you're like just working by yourself or with your small team. And this is just a service that you can just use with. It will be great. Another thing is, for example, you can't target Android versions below these ones or iOS, which most of the phones right now are above this, so that shouldn't be an issue for you. And this one, I think, will be the main one that can cause you some trouble, is that if you're in the free version, you have to wait to your APK to come because you have there is like a queue that you need to wait. And yeah, and sometimes I have waited like 20 or 30 minutes. But again, if your operation is crucial, of course, that would be an issue if you need to release something very quickly. But here comes another thing, that Expo provides updates through their service. So actually, if you need just to push code and not like make a big changes like the SDK, you can just push your changes directly using the Expo service, and those updates will be right to the user right there. They need just a web connection. And yeah, that's actually like a big advantage, that you don't have to use the stores to push your updates. So yeah, this is not good, but you can also control what you push to Expo. And yeah, I would say that those are the main constraints when using Expo. But as you can see, you can still target a lot of apps that will not rely on this kind of things. And even if your app gets bigger and you now need those things, you can always just leave Expo even with their own CLI. So it's not that you are trapped into their ecosystem. You can, even after that, just leave Expo and you will be good to go. And another big reason to keep using Expo is that it's being currently maintained all the time. And they have like a schedule that they will push in their schedule, their updates to the SDK, and the migration, the upgrade process is really, really simple. You just have to follow their instructions, and the documentation is really clear. It's really different from a React Native CLI project where you will have to manually try to fix things into all of your packages, which is another good thing. And even if you go here to this URL expocani.io, you can see all of the feature requests that are from the community, and they actually take in consideration that so they can work and support more things. And more things are now available through Expo that weren't before, which is a great thing because in the future, if your feature is not supported, it might come to reality. So yeah, that's the main points that I would say, that if you're just learning or building a small project, you don't have to worry about using React Native CLI. Well, it can be beneficial if you, I don't know, want to learn how to use it, but for managing a real application, it would be a lot of work that you don't want to deal with. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this subject. So yeah, that's everything that I want to share.